Program is the active center. And if you've been trying to make sense of this administration's first year, well, good luck.
Yeah, the old political playbooks they're completely out the window.
It feels like they're writing a new one in invisible ink.
We've spent the week digging into the 2026 budget proposal, that surprise trade deal with China from last November, and the equity stakes the Treasury's been taking.
And the takeaway isn't chaos, you're saying. It's something else.
It's a very specific strategy. We're looking at 5 different approaches, all happening at once.
The 5 faces of Trumpism. I saw that analysis. You're arguing the president is acting as a conservative, a liberal, a populist, an opportunist, and this is the one that gets me, a socialist.
No, it sounds totally contradictory when you list them out like that.
Yeah.
But when you look at the actual policies, it's the only model that fits. He's treating ideology like, a menu to pick and choose from.
Okay, let's start with the conservative face, because these budget cuts are just staggering. I'm looking at an 83.7% slash to the State Department and USAID.
Gone. Basically dismantling our soft power infrastructure overnight.
And a 15.3% cut to the Department of Education.
Right. That's classic small government orthodoxy, starve the federal beast.
And he's pairing that with some really hardline cultural policy, this Restoring Biological Truth initiative.
Executive Orders 14-168 and 14-201.
Yeah.
They're using the full weight of Title IX to define sex as a biological binary at birth.
Banning trans women from female sports, private spaces.
Exactly. It's a very clear, hardline conservative position. If you only looked at that, you'd think, okay, I get this administration.
But then you follow the money and that whole narrative it falls apart.
Completely, because those savings aren't going to pay down debt. They're funding populist mega projects.
Like the Make America Healthy Again initiative, MAHA.
$500 million for that. That's the RFK Jr. influence you're seeing, targeting corrupt food and pharmaceutical companies.
Which traditional Republicans would be protecting, not attacking.
And then there's the $175 billion for Homeland Security to treat the border like an invasion. It's huge government spending, just aimed at nationalist goals.
So that brings in the liberal face. How does he hold this weird coalition together?
This is the part people miss. He's dropped the religious right on key issues to keep suburban voters.
So no national abortion ban.
He's letting states vote on it.
Yeah.
And he's called same-sex marriage settled law. Socially, he's moderating.
And economically, the high tariffs, that's more of a pro-union protectionist stance than free market Reaganism.
Precisely. It's all a transaction. Which leads us straight to the opportunist face. That China deal from November.
Right. The one where the triple-digit tariff threat just vanished.
1 minute we're on the brink of total decoupling. The next, Xi Jinping agrees to buy soybeans and stop fentanyl precursors.
And suddenly we have a stabilizing deal.
It wasn't a structural fix. It was a headline. He needed a win for farmers and a win on drugs, so he took it. Pure pragmatism.
And that pragmatism, I think that's the gateway to this final, most surprising face. The socialist one.
This is the Intel deal from August 2025.
This is the one that keeps me up at night. The government didn't just give them a grant from the CHES Act.
No. They converted the funds into a 9.9% equity stake. The U.S. government is now the largest shareholder in Intel.
But it's not just a passive investment, is it? They secured a golden share.
They did, which is something you usually see in, European state-owned utilities.
And that gives them veto power over, what, leadership? Factory locations.
All of it. And they've already used it. They effectively forced the CEO's resignation right after the deal was signed.
That is state capitalism. There's no other word for it. When the government is in the boardroom saying you can't build a factory there, that's a command economy.
It's what we're calling Republican socialism. It's the ultimate expression of this new ideology, nationalist pragmatism.
So if the free market doesn't deliver what the state wants...
But the state just takes a seat on the board and does it itself.
So we have a government that cuts like a libertarian, spends like a populist, moderates like a liberal, deals like an opportunist, and controls capital like a socialist.
The old labels of left and right,
yeah,
they're just obsolete here. The only thing that matters to this White House is, does this tool get us what we want right now?
Which leaves us with a pretty heavy question for you to think about. If the government is now a senior partner with a golden share at our biggest tech companies, does the private sector even really exist anymore? Or have we just entered a new era of American state capitalism?